Okay, so you see, we're going to continue with the chapter on error identification. Okay, so now we've done some material, we've seen some material on verbs, right? We've seen the tenses, we've seen subject verb agreement, we worked out the quiz on subject verb agreement. Now, as I said, we'll do the next chapter in this topic, which is about articles and prepositions. Right? Articles and prepositions. Now, see, why do we need to know about so many parts of speech? So many parts of speech, right? As you know, there are 8 parts of speech, right? Noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. You know, so when you have a sentence, right? The error can come in any of these parts of speech. Right? So that's why we looked at verbs, for example. We've also seen pronouns. We'll go over pronouns once more. Right? We'll go over pronouns once more. And now we're looking at prepositions and articles. Okay? So here, as you know, right? First we'll look at articles. As you know, there are 2 types of articles. One is called the definite article and the second is called the indefinite article. Right? So the definite article is the word the or the. Right? Pronounced in 2 different ways. The and the. And the indefinite article is one of a or an, right? So now articles they come under the general category of determiners, right? They come under the general category of determiners. Okay? Okay. So determiners, what do they show? They show the number of a noun. Number of a noun. Now, number means singular or plural, right? And nouns, they can be common nouns, for example. For example, you can say table. Now, number is shown by the S, plural, right? Or if it's singular, then it's shown by the determiner, specifically the indefinite article a. So determiners show number of nouns, right? So we can say a table, a boy, a girl, etc. Now what's the meaning of a here? A means, okay, all of these mean 1, right? A means 1. Similarly, you have, let's say, here we're looking at how to use an. So we have orange, right? Or ink pot, or umbrella, right? Orange or ink pot or umbrella. Now these are what? These are common nouns. See? Table, boy, girl, orange, ink pot, umbrella. They're all common nouns, right? And so, if it's orange, then we'll say an. If it's ink pot, also we'll say an. If it's umbrella, we say an. Now, you notice that we're using a before some words and an before others. So, what is the main difference between, when do we use a and when do we use an, right? So, see, we have the 26 letters of the alphabet from A to Z, right? And these 26 are divided into, okay, vowels, okay, and consonants, right? So we have vowels and consonants, right? Now here you notice table, boy, girl. These are consonants, right? So before a word beginning with a consonant, we use A. But notice these: orange, inkpot, umbrella. They begin with a vowel, right? They begin with a vowel. Before a word beginning with a vowel, we use an, right? So both A and an show the singular. They are singular, right? Now, here we're looking at the spelling. We're looking at the spelling. Spelling means table. T-A-B-L-E. T is a consonant. Boy. B-O-Y. B is a consonant. Etc. We're looking at the spelling. Here also we're looking at the spelling. Orange. O-R-A-N-G-E. Inkpot. I-N-K-P-O-T. Inkpot. Right? We're looking at the spelling. But while spelling is a guide, when to use A, when to use an. Spelling is a guide 99% of the time. The main rule is when do we choose A and when do we choose an? It should depend on the sound. Sound means a pronunciation. So for example, if I say university, okay? University professor, right? University professor. Now, here you see you have university. So this is a vowel. So according to this rule, you will use an. But notice how you pronounce university. It is actually Y-O-U or Y-U. It is a consonant, right? So it is a university professor, right? So 99% of, okay? The main rule is it should depend on the sound, the way you pronounce it, right? And then we have this honest person, right? Here, honest person. In here you have a consonant, H, right? So you might be tempted to use A. But if you listen carefully, you are not saying honest, ha. H is not being pronounced. You're saying honest. So it is a what? A vowel. So we will use an, right? An honest person, right? So this is how you differentiate between A and an, right? Now I'll sum it up, okay? Okay? A or an are used before singular common nouns, right? To indicate the singular. A or an are used before singular common nouns to indicate one, right? So, and the remaining rule also. A is used before words that begin with consonant sound, and an is used before words that begin with vowel sound. Now, you see, it need not always be a common noun. For example, I can say, okay, round dining table. Now here you have a couple of adjectives. Okay, brown dining table. This is a consonant, so you will use A. Right? A brown dining table. But suppose you have one more adjective. Old browsing table. Now this becomes what? This is a vowel, so we will use an. Right? It depends on this word, not on this word. Depends on the number of adjectives or whatever modifier you have here. Right? Okay. So this is about indefinite articles. So that leaves the definite articles, right? Definite article. Now, okay, so definite article. Now, if you look at the name of the group, indefinite, definite. Definite means it's specific. Now, I'll just illustrate this. I'll say, go and get a doctor. Go and get a doctor, right? The doctor lives in the next street. I think this is the example given in Brennan Martin. I asked you to purchase that book, Brennan Martin. Okay? I think this is the same example given. Okay? Go and get a doctor. The doctor lives in the next street. Right? Now, here, why do we use a here and why do we use the here? Right? See, go and get a doctor. Okay? You can also look at it like this. You can also look at it like this. A or an in the sense of any. Right? Go and get a doctor means any doctor. But here it becomes definite. Who is the doctor we want? The doctor who lives in the next street. Right? So here, that's why it's called definite. That's why they are called definite and indefinite article. The makes it definite. A or an makes it indefinite. Okay, general. Okay. Now, when do we actually use, definite and indefinite articles? Definite articles rather. So we have, let's say, we use them before nouns, right? We use them before nouns. Nouns can also be grouped under countable and uncountable nouns. So, for example, all the things we saw, all the nouns we saw. For example, apple, was it? Apple, boy, girl. These are all countable nouns, right? So we use, we use a or an. But what about the uncountable? We have air is an uncountable noun, wheat is an uncountable noun, rice. And so we have a number of uncountables. Now, before countable nouns, you can use a, and, or the. An apple, a boy, the apple, the boy. But before uncountable, you cannot use a and an. We have to use only the. Right? So, the is used before singular and plural, countable and uncountable. Right? So, the is used before all. Right? Singular and plural, countable and uncountable. A or an is only used before countable, singular. Right? So, now we'll look at exercises, right? We have to do some exercises to know, how these rules are used. Did you follow all this? As some of you are late, I told you we're recording it, so just try to keep quiet, don't talk too much. Okay? So now these are most of the rules about articles. So now we'll look at prepositions, right? So prepositions, the word preposition is made up of two parts. One is pre. Okay? Pre means before. Pre means before. And position is position. Right? So what is the position of a preposition in the sentence. The position of a preposition in the sentence is before a noun. Before a noun. Right? Nouns, as you know, can come in the beginning or end of a sentence. Ram has a book, the book belongs to Ram. Nouns can come in the beginning or end of a sentence. So, preposition can come in the beginning or end of a sentence before the noun. Right? So, here, see, if I say, the cat sat on the mat. The cat sat on the mat. Right? So here you have a noun, mat. So this is an article we just saw. So this will be the preposition. On is the preposition. Now here it's coming at the end. Remember what you call the noun which comes at the end of a sentence called, it's said to be in the objective case. Okay. Cat is said to be in the subjective case. Mat is said to be in the objective case. So we have a noun which comes in the objective case. Look before that and you have a preposition. Similarly, you can take another example. The book is in the bag. Right? So again you have a common noun. Before that, if you look, you find in is the preposition. Right? In is the preposition. Now, okay, now as you can see, they have meaning. If I say, the book is on the bag, the book is on the bag is different from saying the book is in the bag. Right? So, prepositions are small words. Okay? Usually they consist of single syllables. Right? But they have meaning. If you change the preposition, the meaning will change. Meaning of the sentence will change. Okay, as we saw just now. The book is in the bag, the book is on the bag. So, then this, grouping of preposition into single syllables and multi-syllables. What is a syllable? A syllable is a part of a word. For example, if I say, I have a preposition like extemporization. Now, here we have extemporization. How many syllables is that? 6. Right? So this consists of 6 syllables. Right? Okay. So a syllable is, what you can pronounce in one inhalation and exhalation. That's the actual definition, scientific definition. It is the part of the word you can pronounce in one chest pulse. Chest pulse means inhalation and exhalation. Right? So this word consists of 6 syllables. Right? Now, many prepositions are single syllables. Right? So they are called simple prepositions. Right? So simple prepositions are words like at, in, on, by, do, from, okay? Like this, right? So we have prepositions which are simple, right? They consist of one syllable. Then we have prepositions which are compound. Compound means made up of more than one syllable, right? For example, you have above, right? And above, and bow, right? And there's a round, right? So these are compound prepositions. Then we have one group, the last group, which is called the phrase preposition. A phrase is a group of words, right? So we have together with, right? along with, right? In accordance with. So these are phrases. This phrase consists of two words. This also consists of two words. In accordance with. That consists of three words. So we have simple prepositions, compound prepositions, and phrase prepositions. Okay? So this is a grouping or classification of prepositions. Right? Now we look at the meanings of some prepositions. To try to understand the meanings of some very common prepositions. Okay, for that I'll draw, or rather I will try to draw a table, a box, and a ball. Right? So I used to draw when I was young, but now the lines go orange. Okay, so you see, you have a table, you have a box, and you have a ball. We say the ball is in the box, right? Now, if it comes from outside to inside, then we say, I put the ball into the box, right? We say the ball is on the table, right? And if it comes from elsewhere onto the surface, we say I put the ball onto the surface, onto the table, right? Here we say the ball is near the box, near. But here we say the ball is next to the box or beside the box, next to or beside, right? Then we say the ball is under or below the table. Ball is under or below the table. And we say the ball is above or over the table. Right? So these are the meanings of some common prepositions. Now what about some more? See, if you go lengthwise along the road, if you go lengthwise along the road or a riverbank or a seashore, if you go lengthwise, you're going along. Right? But if you go breadthwise, you're going across. Right? Across. Right? Then you can go around a circle. You can go around a circle. Right? Or you can go up, or you can come down some stairs, up the stairs, down the stairs, right? And you have, let's say, this is a couple of goalposts, and you put the ball, okay, between, right? Between the goalposts, between means the middle of two. In the middle of two. But suppose you have a child, right, who's walking, okay, among its friends. In the middle of more than two is among, right? Between is in the middle of two, among is in the middle of more than two, right? Between and among, right? Then, okay. So here, you have behind, the board is behind me, right? Or we say the window is in front of me, right? Is in front of. That's a phrase preposition. Behind is a compound preposition. Behind, right? So we have, a number of prepositions which you can understand from the context. Okay? Let me see. So we start from Bangalore and you go to Mysore, right? So this is from and to. From Bangalore to Mysore, right? From start shows a starting point, right? Starting point means it can be a place like Bangalore, from Bangalore. It can also be a time from 9 a.m. Place and time from 2. 2 can also show a place. To Mysore to 6 p.m. Okay, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. something like that. Right? So we have from and to. Right? And then we have what are called troublesome prepositions. Troublesome. So among these we have these two. Beside and besides. Beside and besides. Beside, as we just saw, means by the side of. Right? By the side of. But besides, if you add the S, right? So we can say besides the captain, 2 other players scored a century. Besides the captain. That means what? Besides means in addition to. In addition to. In addition to the captain, 2 other players scored a century. Right? Then we have these two. 4 and 6. Right? Now, you say, I've been waiting since 9 p.m. I've been waiting since 9 p.m. Now, okay. So, with the period, so here we have to understand when do we use for, and when do we use since. Now, to know this, you have to know the difference between points of time. Okay? Points of time and periods of time. Points of time and periods of time. Right? So what is a point of time? So we have 9 a.m. is a point of time. Right? So is Wednesday. Wednesday is also a point of time. Right? Then we have 1994. 1994 is a point of time. With points of time, we use since. Been waiting since 9 a.m., since Wednesday, since 1994. But what about periods of time? What are periods of time? You know, you have an English period, French period, and so on and so forth. They are usually, they're taken as this. This is a period of time. Okay? What are examples of periods of time? So, for example, 1 hour. Right? So, I've been waiting for 1 hour. With periods of time, we use for. Right? Then, let's say 2 weeks. Right? 2 weeks. Okay? So, it's been promised for 2 weeks. Right? It's a period of time. So, you have to understand when to use points of time. We have to understand what are points of time and periods of time to determine when to use for and since. So, there are a couple of other troublesome provisions. We won't go into all of them. Right? So, these are the main, very commonly held, very commonly used, right? Very commonly used prepositions, right? So now, let us try to work out some exercises, right? We'll try to work out some exercises, right? For that, we'll have to go to Google, right? So, let me see. Go to Google, right? Then we'll type in articles, quizzes. Articles, space, quizzes. Articles, space, QUIZZES. Articles, okay? So we have this one, ProProfs, right? Articles, quiz with answers. Okay? Okay? So, okay? So we can work out the exercises. Right? Okay? So